The big famous Dick-Off's going to be on this coming Sunday at 12 p.m. if you can come down and watch two dicks go at it on the course on Sunday. But didn't you choke your guts up?
Hello everyone and welcome to the Neville Richards Premier League show. Round 9 review, round 10 preview, the inimitable Bigfoot Matt Milne, welcome.
Good morning, Mark. How are you this morning?
Even better for the formalities.
How was the weekend?
Well, it was an amazing round of scoring, I know that.
It was.
Great scores.
The weather was great. We had a fantastic day for it. There's a couple of upsets. We saw our first draw of the year. Couple of players who had their nose out of joint after last week. Some copped the criticism and lifted their performance, but they took feedback on board and they performed this week, one notably.
Have you taken any feedback on board?
I have taken quite a bit of feedback. There is quite a number of people that are off me, but Michelle DeFazio is on me. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but Pete come and saw me during the week and he said, now, Matt, Michelle doesn't laugh, but she didn't stop laughing on that video last week.
I think normally doesn't.
So, yeah, normally she doesn't have much of a chuckle, but she she found it quite amusing. So, and obviously Pete had a good quick trip back to Italy this week for some refills.
Supplies.
Yes, reckons it's pretty good stuff he's got now going by his score on Saturday.
Now, before we get into this, I copped a fair bit of heat out on the course on Saturday.
Did you really?
Yeah, I didn't actually play for anyone, which was probably part of the whole scenario.
Yeah, what was the go there? Like you were the best score last week and then...
No, unloved, unwanted.
Yeah, well, it's funny you say that because I did receive this a couple of weeks ago for you, and it's probably not the best time to bring it out saying you've been in good form, but this was the payment I received for you a couple of weeks ago. Said that was the performance you put in, so I've got to do it in the coins.
Oh my goodness. Look at that.
So I've actually got to count it up. But apparently there's $40 in there.
Oh, there's no way.
And it could be a down payment for you to play for him this week. He's going to give you another chance, he reckons.
So no names?
No. Phone call 7:30 this morning, Adam Shawcross. He reckons that you owe the Crusaders big time.
Jeez, the pressure. Well, I tell you what.
And I reckon Ian Lachlan would be on that too, but maybe Lockie may decide that you don't play for them.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe he might veto it. But this isn't about me, it's about you. I want to know. See, I take the heat out on the course on Saturdays when you're just tucked up in the cosy confines of the pro shop.
Mm-hmm.
You're sort of immune to all the sledging that goes on.
True.
And I take the heat for you out on the course, which I'm fine with. I don't mind.
You've got broad shoulders.
I have. I'm willing to take it all. I, in fact, quite enjoy it out there. But there's a groundswell of opinion that says you should get out there and face the music.
Right, well, we'll get to a bit later on, but there is quite a few players away this week, and one player does want me to fill in for them this week.
Wow.
But I can't get a spot on the timesheet. It's full.
I'll turn it up.
And I don't want to take a spot off a member who pays to play. So if a spot becomes free,
ooh, look out.
Maybe, who knows?
Wow. Must cost a lot of money to get you out of there.
Yeah, well, I just cancelled the Cairo appointment for this morning, so... But we'll have to wait and see.
All right. Okay, so the first match, actually, it's a couple of things going on here. The Hookers were in grave danger of things going haywire. But as it's turned out, the Pirates have suffered a double blow.
They did. Destroyed. 251 the Pirates, while the Hookers were on 269. Hookers had 11 players. The Pirates had 13, which became 12 due to a little incident on course where someone had to leave after one hole. But with that, the Pirates, they win the Weakers Water Prize this week as the lowest scoring team. What does that mean, Hazy?
That means you're out of Survivor. So the competition that started 2 weeks ago has now lost the Tornadoes on top of the ladder, and the Pirates, the vaunted Pirates, gone.
Out, done, finished. Don't know about this season, though. They're still hanging there. But, yeah, no, they weren't very good on Saturday. For the hookers, Dean Jeffrey had 37, Jacob Blenner-Hassett and Mustard Pants McMurrich 35, Jimmy Pike 33 alongside James Finch and David Byrne. He was back?
He's back.
He reckons that Byrne Boulevard was pretty factually incorrect.
Is that right?
Because he said the week before playing with you blokes, he hit another 3 balls over there. And Dave, I just did the ball credits for this month and you only won 1 ball, so that's not going to fill up your supplies. Tim Belitho returned with 32 and Mummy Milne, she had 31. While for the Pirates, Steve Gill put in a fantastic 39. Wow. Well done, Steve. Sue Gregory had 33. 31s were Richard Geary, Justin McGrath, Wendy Scuba Hub, 30 for Jeff Daniel, 29 for Chris James, counting score again. And Cliffy McCorkle and Sue Holland had 27. But as we said, it's a fantastic result for the Hookers, kept their season alive. The Hookers had 4 morning players, while the Pirates had 6. And those 4 morning Hookers started strongly with Blenner-Hassett, Finch and Byrne all having counting scores, while the Pirates ones that counted from the morning was Sue, Juzzy, Jeff and Cliffy. But when you have 27 and 31 counting, it's going to be hard to get it done. As the PM scores come in for the Pirates, Richard and Scuba Hub and Sue Hollands and Jamesy's wasn't enough when the Hookers, Julie come in with 31. Then we have Mustard Pants' 35. He wore him again.
Oh, I saw that. I did see that.
He secretly loves the attention.
Oh, what do you mean secretly?
Mate, I'm in the pro shop at, I must have been 3:15, 4:15, had people in, I get a phone call and it's him. Oh, come out and film me. Come and film me. Come on. I'm like, mate, I haven't got time. I'm doing stuff. No, come out. Just drop it. Just lock the shop. Come out and film me. So I filmed him. And have a look at what we have to listen to. Well, here we are with Mustard Pants McMurrich. Have a look at him.
You know when you say the poem? I have a little poem for you. We are a team of hookers, and I am one. But look where we're at. Look at my pants. They are dirty. Now, on 2, in the water, out of the mud, backhanded, onto the green, 3 foot. That is a little poem, and I'll continue with the story after this.
What is that even English?
I know. He talks in riddles. He's also the Riddler.
It's like a haiku rather than a poem.
Yeah, I know. But, he hit a good shot into the green there, and that was good. So, but as I said, Steve Gill made a late run with 39, but it wasn't enough. And then when Dean Jeffrey, who was in one of the last groups, come in with 37, it was a famous Hookers victory. But Dino did have a little back 9 choke, as we say.
Oh, I thought you were going to give him some love. But yeah, he had 4 birdies coming up to the 9th tee because he started on the 10th, so he's back 9. 4 under he was after 8 holes on the front.
And 9. He would have birdied the 9th?
Well, you would expect him to birdie the 9th with his length.
No?
No, not so much. A little 6.
Ooh. Dino, that's why you were so happy when you come in after. But,
good golf, though. Matty, interestingly enough, in this match, I mean, there's some great scores there, but there were some notable absentees too.
There was. I suppose one thing I might put out there first was Justin McGrath was going to get maybe yourself to fill in for him, and I just double-checked with him late in the week or middle of the week there, and he said, no, I'm right to play again now. So you got the arse. You had 37 and he had 31. Could have cost the Pirates, but in the end it didn't because the margin was too big. But yeah, you are right, Mark. We did have some notable absentees. Slow Burn Ibbotson, who's been pretty strong on the hookers about fronting. I know she's gone overseas, but she did have her name down Saturday morning. Withdrew. Must have been a bit cold for her, but it was warm. Paul Marnie. Got a photo here of his group.
It's very poetic.
Yeah, there he is. They're just waiting for him. He apparently had a grandson playing football somewhere between Portarlington and Colac, somewhere in that region, apparently.
No more detail.
He didn't know where it was, but yeah, that's why he wasn't here. Andreas Belkis was missing. Apparently took offence to your critiquing of him last week. Your critique, so he's out. Then we've also got Mr. Samsung, Mr. McNeil. I know where he's been. I was scrolling through the Geelong Advertiser last week and look what I've come across. Jeez, he's a busy boy, isn't he?
You've really got to ring Samsung.
He is busy.
Oh. I thought it was plumbing that was keeping him.
Nah, mate, I couldn't believe it when I opened it up. I don't buy the paper very often, but there it was. His head, amazing. I don't know, but
Imagine the size of the population in about 18.
I
20
know.
years.
If you lived in China, he'd been castrated.
Oh, what happened on the Jamesies front, Matty?
The Jamesies. Well, for the Pirates, we had one, Manny Golfus. You had 22, Manny. An improvement on last week's 19, so well done on that. For the Hookers, Suho Connor had 24, but we do have I suppose, one that we can probably put in here and didn't quite make the 25, but Wayne Brown had 26.
But you're going to give it to him in the Jamesies?
I'm going to. He wiped his first hole he played and finished with 19 on the front. 9.
Wipe and then 19 in the next 8.
Yes.
Okay.
And then he went 2, wipe, 1, wipe, 1, 1, 1, 1 on the back 9. For 7 points on the back 9.
Wayne.
Not sure what happened, Wayne, but that is obviously not good enough. And obviously, Hookers having to win abstains you from what you did. But yes, shocking on the back 9.
Wow. Unlike you to lash out at someone without any forewarning at all.
Yeah, well, I like to keep you on your toes.
Yeah, that's interesting. I like that. Well, Matty, we did have one. There were a couple of blowouts, but we did have one really intense match, and it was between the Bullies and the Crusaders. And at the end, no one could split them.
No, 269 each. Both teams had the 14 players. For the Bullies, Sean Rodwell and Ross Morland, 37. Jerry Raviani and son of Mustard, Coop, he had 35. Kev Hudson had 33. Obviously, Paul wasn't there.
Yeah, maybe Paul's the anchor.
Jenny Edmondson and Judy said 31, while Rob Casey and Stu Anderson had 30. For the Crusaders, Ian Lachlan, he had 36. Cherie Gill, 36.
Ooh, good day in the Gill
The Gill household was very good on Saturday night, I'm assuming. Scotty Hopgood, Adam Shawcross and Christine Noble returned with 34s. Tony Havis, 32 with Craig Connolly, and then Lee Datson had 31. But
no love for Tony Havis?
I'll get to that a bit later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it was a good improvement for him.
Oh, just checking.
But this match had big ramifications for both teams, and you were actually a little bit flat afterwards with the draw.
What both teams were?
Yeah, they were. They both had their chances. It was neck and neck all day. The Bullies had 6 morning players to the Crusaders 4. The Bullies had 4 of them that ended up being counting scores with Kev Hudson, Judy said, Rob and Stewie, while the Crusaders' AM scores of Scotty Hopgood and Tony Havis, which was a welcome back in positiveness for Tony. He's a big man. I don't want to get on the wrong side of him.
Too late.
Yeah, but it was left to the PM players, and the regular scoring players for the Bullies contributed again with Roscoe and Sean Rodwell, son of Mustard, Cooper. Have we got hearing the shot into 18 there? Wasn't as good as his dad's, but Coop 3 putted that. So might have cost your team victory there. Crusaders weren't going to be denied when Lockie come in with his 36 and Cherie's 36. Cherie Gill's score is probably the equivalent of 44.
How do you figure that?
Because she played with mustard pants.
Oh, the duress.
Oh, imagine putting up with him for 4 hours on the course. He's up and about. He's skiddy. He would have been pervert on her all day too. So very impressive, Cherie, to have 36. But Christine Noble, as I said, come in with a good 34, and Dado had 31 with a wipe on 17. There was one player left on the course, Hazy. He was in the last group.
Yes.
Adam Shawcross. Big, strong man. Plays off 5-4. His last hole's the 9th. And as he was playing the last hole, I did a quick calculation of scores. And where he was sitting, he needed a birdie on the easiest par 5 in Australia to give the Crusaders a 1-point victory. But no, he made a par.
Oh,
and it was a draw.
Did he have a birdie putt?
I asked him when he finished, did he have a chance for birdie? And he did say no.
So he scrambled.
But another thing is that he also wiped the 6th hole.
Oh, the 2 par 5s.
The 2 par 5s. So, Shawcross, it could have been you. But then again, it could have been Ian Lachlan, Mr. 1 foot.
Mr. 1 foot?
Yeah. You know, when he walks, he's 1 foot. So,
I thought you meant he missed a 1-footer.
No. It's just when he walks, he's 1 foot. That's as far. He doesn't have a 3-foot stride. It's a 1 foot stride. But he was 36 points.
Yeah.
Finished with. And everyone was gushing how good he was. But when you delve a bit deeper there, though, he went out in 20, come home in 16. So not disastrous. But he finished with a 1 point on the 8th and a wipe on the 9th.
More costly action on the 9th.
Yeah, the 9th might be difficult. Imagine when we turned into a par 4. But the Jamesies for the Bullies, Barry Doyle, 23. For the Crusaders, 24. John Rowe, Johnny, you're better. All Port player in previous years. Noel Pike, no use resting on your laurels of last week where you thought you were eating a bit. You come in with 24.
Maybe he's playing with his white goods.
Yeah, well, you can do some good things on washing machines. But Helen Powell, 22. An improvement on your 19 of last week, Helen, I suppose. But,
you suppose.
And I hope you cooked tea for John because you had a worse score than him.
Oh. Well, there you go. A thriller, 269 apiece, and it's going to, as you'll see, it's going to not only this week but in future weeks probably impact the ladder with those little draw, the vagaries of the draw. Anyway, Matty, the third match we want to have a look at, the Warriors under continual duress from Jill Barker.
She's not happy.
No, she's not happy. But they took on the Peakers, and they've been threatening to do something special to the Peakers, and it came on Saturday.
Yeah, the Peakers had the 14, the Warriors 13 players. Peakers 283 defeated the Warriors on 268.
283.
Yeah, so our high score so far this season was 289 so far.
That was almost a summer score, though.
It was.
Good winter.
Yes, and Jill, I will mention it, that the Warriors were a team that scored that high, as well as the Hookers so far. So it's been done twice. But, so the Peakers win the Callaway golf balls this week. And we also have our Travis Matthew winner this week in this game too.
Well, this is big because this is one of those gentlemen who've been very critical of your assessments of his golf and others.
Mr. Crossett went back to Vic Roads and got his P's for his buggy this week, and he obviously got a bit of help with his golf game too. He had 39 points this week. So
well done,
Johnny, from last week's Jamesies, back into the top score. So Johnny had 22 points on the last 9 holes, or the back 9, while Steve Gill only had the 17. So Johnny Crossett wins the Travis Matthew Polo for the best score for the week. But the Peakers were all good. Crossett 39. Big DeFazio had 38.
Wasn't he up in a bit?
He was. Couldn't wait to tell me about his new supply of pills.
I'll go sticking around.
Yeah. Flea Pike, 38.
Nice.
He had 13 down on Tuesday.
13 down.
Yeah, whenever we played par, 13 down he had.
Wow.
Then we had Snags Finnemore. Snags. Flanders didn't come and rush in and tell me about your score on Saturday this week. He had 36, and Mr. Winchelsea had 36, while Cam O'Keefe, Janet Johnson on 33s and Nipperdod's 30. While for the Warriors, Buffett Allen had 38, Rick Edmondson 36.
Oh, this is amazing.
Chris Geary 35, Jill Barker 34, Bernie Reid 33, Jeff Evans 32, and then Flanders, Ward, Scott and McGlone's 30s end up being counting scores. So
I'm just trying to piece together the video footage of it. I'm not sure we'll be able to get it, but Flanders cracked it in the clubhouse afterwards.
did he?
Yeah, dropped the glass and just
Really?
walked away from the scene.
Why?
Oh, wow.
Because of his team. I was going to say he's that silly that his groups wouldn't have even been in. It would have been only his scoring so far because he hits off in the first groups. But yeah, the Peakers were too big, too strong for the Warriors, and they just manhandled them from the get-go. This once vaunted Warriors team were pummeled from the start. Both teams had the majority of their team playing the morning. And didn't those Peakers stand up nice and tall? Snags, Flea, DeFazio and Crossett, they easily accounted for the flange, Sword, Dale Scott, Johnny McGlone. But the afternoons tried their hardest, with best for them being Rico. I actually saw him Saturday night. I was in the shop doing stock take, went to leave, and there's this bloke just wandering around the front of the pro shop, hobbling, and he's got a sore back and sore shoulder, and it was the big Rico. Hardly moved. That was what spirit he put in for his team on Saturday. Pity rest of us couldn't live up to his expectations. But, when Rim and JJ come in at stamp victory, Mr. Winchelsea could have won the Travis Matthew Polo.
Really?
But 1 point on 7, 8, 9.
Ooh.
Ninth again. And his last hole, but yeah, he did rally home with 2 under on the last 9 that he played, which included bogey on 18.
Ooh, that's good going.
So Mr. Winchelsea went well.
Very good.
For the Jamesies, Mr. Kerry Allen, 23. More on you in the preview of next week.
Ooh.
Warriors didn't have any.
No Jamesies.
No Jamesies. They were consistent,
no
but consistently average.
There you go. All right, Matty, it was the match, the fourth and final match for discussion here. It was between your mighty Goblins, who are just absolutely rolling at the moment, and the Tornadoes, who...
Is that your Tornadoes?
Well, I think they are.
Or are you off them now?
Well, I'm getting ready to get off them because, and we'll notice here in a second that someone really has gotten off them. The Goblins just smacked them, to be honest, and we actually got some international video provided to us when the scores went up and posted around the world.
Yes, we did get that email last night, and I had quite a chuckle on that, Hazy. Let's have a look.
Selma Puggy, Mill Dog and Hazy, Barry Mabals here from Satura Harbours Golf Resort. 27 holes of absolute luxury behind me, and geez, I fell off my sunbed yesterday when I saw the Tornadoes have been done again. What the is that that's going on here? Absolutely disgraceful performance for the show, for the ones that showed up. Joy Francis not getting a cent out of me. Absolutely piss poor feeling. Now, I'm not sure if you can hear it because the plane's coming in behind me, but there is a call to prayer going. We are in a Muslim country, and I've asked the Grand Mufti of Kota Kinabalu to say a prayer for the Tornadoes this week. We need something. I've gone for a higher power, so give the Mufti strength, and hopefully he can deliver for Barry Mabals and the rest of the Tornadoes crew. Lift! Fucking lift!
Oh my God, I don't even know what to say. We finally got the pronunciation of Barry Marbles.
What do you say on that? He's quite good in front of the camera. I wonder how many takes that took to get the old Grand Mufti out.
Oh, he's got different religions praying.
Yeah, so Joy, I'm sure that you'll appreciate it. Because when she did find out she was playing for Barry Marbles, she did ask if she needed to have balls to play for him. And I did mention that he's hadn't even dropped, so probably not.
It was really over pretty early, this one, to be honest.
It was. I called it at lunchtime again. Goblins had 14, Tornadoes had 12. For the Goblins, Pants Peacock. Mr. Winchelsea Pants, they brought their form to the course. 37. Johnny Dixon had 36. David Milne, Murray Wiley, Yvette Pollock, 35. The Greek God had 34. Yanni. Timu Prime, 33, and John Bowman had 30, while for the Tornadoes, Robbie Moorcroft. Isn't that interesting? Rob Moorcroft, 36, Kevin Hudson, 33, normally play with Paul Marnie. Paul doesn't turn up, they both play well. Not sure if there's a correlation there. Peter O'Neill, 34, Johnny Losing, 34, Craig Duncanson and Lynn Kirby, 31, Ian Davis, 30, and then Joy Francis, Yvonne Casey, 29s. But the Goblins just keep getting it done with this emphatic victory over the top of the table Tornadoes, but haven't they dropped away the last 2 weeks of Tornadoes? The much talked scoring power has dissipated. Tornadoes had 8 of their 12 players playing the morning, while the Goblins had 7 of their 14. And it was apparent early the Tornadoes were going to get torched again for the second week in a row. Tornadoes' AM scores had Moorcroft 36 and then Ian Davis 30. That was it. So you could tell then it was going to be hard for them. The 4 p.m. Tornadoes tried to fill the void with Bagman at 34, Johnny Losing 34. Have a phone call from him on the course.
Oh.
Inquiring about what happens if you hit outside the teeing ground.
That's intriguing.
So, yes, 2-shot penalty, John, and then you replay it from inside. Instead of playing from the black domes, he played from the black plates, which was outside. So he made the hole longer, but cost himself 2 shots. Was not happy either with that. Duncanson and Lynn, 31, tried hard, but it wasn't enough. The Goblins' AMs were fantastic. well and truly covering those, and they only needed a little bit of help in the afternoon. David Milne, Salmon Pants Wiley.
Yes.
He turned up a little later. Didn't get here before 10. Got here just after.
I have got some stuff. I haven't figured out exactly what to do with you yet, but old Salmon Pants has given us some great loot to give away.
Oh, has he? Right.
More on that next week.
Yeah, okay, very good, Muzz. Timu Prime, when he come in, it was a 4 straight win. Could have been a larger margin and a different Travis Matthew winner this week too. John Dixon. The man who...
He had 36. You've already
He did,
him.
yeah. The man who is in the dick-off this week. Yes, the match play final is this Sunday at 12 p.m, not yesterday like I alluded to previously. But, yes, the big famous dick-off's going to be on this coming Sunday at 12 p.m. if you can come down and watch two dicks go at it on the course on Sunday. But didn't you choke your guts up? He won't mind me analysing like I did Lachlan, but as I said, 36, you'd think it's quite well. But no, Mark, it was a good score. But this was like Greg Norman at the 1996 US Masters.
Really?
Geelong losing to the Hawks in the 08 Grand Final. That's how the proportion of this is.
Wow.
That's
big.
He had 3 one-pointers on his first 9 holes and finished with 19.
Wow.
And then he was 29 points after 12.
5 up.
Went 3.3.4 point, 31 after 13, 1 point on 14, then a 3-pointer on 15. So he's standing on the 16th tee at 35 points.
With 3 holes to go.
With 3 holes to go. Then the triangle jumped up and bit him on the arse, and he went wipe, 1, wipe, and finished with 36. Now, John, if you hope to win the dick off this week against Wayne, you need to have the match won before you get to the triangle, because I'm sure when it gets down to the wire, I have grave concerns for you.
He seemed pretty happy, though, Matty, when I saw him in the clubhouse afterwards.
Oh, no, when he came to the pro shop, he was not happy at all.
Really?
No, maybe he was trying to... No, I don't want to say he's trying to save his handicap for Sunday, but, yeah, Johnny, what could have been for you? The Jamesies.
Jamesy, who you got?
Goblins?
Yep.
None.
None?
None again.
Is that 2 weeks in a row?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Tornadoes. Darren, to call my doodah Wilson again, 25.
Oh.
Chris Dodds, 25. Now, Chris, you're expecting me to give you a grilling? Try harder, please.
That's it?
That's it. Not even going to justify him with anything.
What about Tickle?
No, well, I think Tickle's doing a Johnny Dixon. They've got a golf trip coming up 2 weeks, and he wants to get that handicap out to the detriment of his team.
Handicap maintenance doesn't go down well with the rest of the field. Imagine if Barry Marbles knew that over in Malaysia.
I can't wait to see our video for the next week or so. It's going to be good. He's away for 2 weeks, so interesting times.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, we almost had the Tornadoes booking their final spot and, maybe even a preliminary final weekend certainty. But as it's turned out, not so much. Man.
No, it's jamming up at the top with Tornadoes now just half a game clear of the Bullies. If the Bullies had won, they would have went probably above them on the ladder. But with that draw, sort of sees them sitting in second. The Goblins and Peakers are now in the top 4. It's interesting, though, Hazy, that the Pirates sit 5th and they've got the best percentage in the league. And also the Tornadoes on top have actually only scored 1 more point for than the bottom team Hookers.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, so it just goes to show how even this comp is about getting a team at the right time. The Hookers have kept their season alive, barely. But with 5 games to go, I'm tipping they're going to need to win 4 of them to make finals.
And on the email that I send out with the little graphic, it's got the worm.
Oh, yes.
The Goblins. It's like it's got a bit of DeFazio sort of stuff going.
Yeah, it does. Really... But you don't want to be peaking too early. You don't want to be peaking prematurely, do you?
No.
You don't win in round 10.
No, this is very true.
You always got to get to be second.
I could tell you a Greg Norman joke there, but I probably should avoid it. All right, Manny, let's turn our attention to what's coming up now in the preview for round 10. And normally we're looking towards the top of the ladder for some action, but this week I'd say that, all focus really is on the bottom section.
Yes, it's an important round this week, and it's a team where it's a round where we're going to see the depth of the sides because we're going to have quite a number missing this week.
Okay.
There's a few golf trips away. I think at the moment I might have nearly 10 on the list for replacements.
Wow.
So because it's so large, I've spoken to Tony at Premier League headquarters and I've got till Wednesday lunchtime because maybe the video will probably come out Tuesday, but I'll need to know Wednesday lunchtime if you require a fill-in because we've got Ando away, Wardy away, Yarni, Malsey, Belkis. Why you'd do a trip in Premier League time, I don't know. But anyway, that's for those boys. Mickey McNeil might be working on baby number 15. Not sure on that. They can't go on the golf trip, though.
Oh.
He's not going on that, so maybe he's staying home. Ross Moreland's away. I'm tipping you'll be a replacement. Shawcross is away as well. So if you do need a fill-in, let me know because there is a bit of logistics to get fill-ins organised for that day. So, but as you just mentioned, the lower part of the ladder, Hookers 8th versus the Crusaders 7th. So could be season ending for these teams.
It's almost a mini final, isn't it?
It is a mini elimination. If the Hookers lose, they could lose touch depending on other results. But I'm excited for this one. Last time they met, the Crusaders won 266 to 258. Xavier Boland dominated this one with 42.
Who did?
Yeah, he played on Saturday.
I didn't see his score anywhere.
29, 2 weeks in a row.
Okay.
Zave, pressure getting to you, not sure. But yes, he starred last time with 42, followed by Gibbs, Tony Havis. He was good last time they met.
And suck up to him.
Hill, while Mustard Pants had 37 for the Hookers, Burn Boulevard and Dino were the next best. The Hookers have consistent counted scores over the last 3 weeks from Julie Milne, Jim Pike, even Tim Blythe though, but Tim, yours were 27, 27, 32. While Blenner Hassett and for Crusaders have had Hopgood, Datsun and Shawcross. Hookers will need a little extra from Sue O'Connor, Paul Marnie if he turns up, Wayne Brown, since you've come back from Thailand, 32, 27, 28, 26. May need a little sojourn back there to re-energise. Mark Wilkins. And I had here, hopefully Samsung McNeil plays. But since then I wrote this, he has said that he needs a fill-in.
Okay.
So he won't be here.
Okay.
Crusaders, they will need something from Helly Powell. Yes, you, Xavier Boland. I'll mention you again. Johnny Rowe, 24, 24 last 2 weeks. And Cole Isbell, he's a bit like Haley's Comet. Turns up 1 in every 8 rounds of scoring. So hopefully you do something this week, Cole. And Craig Connolly. Craig needs to do something too.
Gone a bit flat, old Lemonade.
Yeah, he has. Very flat.
Mm.
Struggles to get over 30 these days.
All right, next match we want to look at, Matty, the Bullies and the Warriors.
Yeah, Bullies 2nd, Warriors 6th. Massive game here, especially for those Warriors who are now outside the top 4 and are on a 4-game losing streak. I'm not sure in the history. Oh, no, we would have. The Goblins last year would have lost 5 in a row. But, yeah, Warriors are shit house. When they met earlier in the season, the Bullies pumped them 273 to 245. For the Warriors, the best was Biceps Evans on 35 and then Boxhead, Matty Davies and Jill Barker were the leading scorers, while the Bullies, Johnny Wooten had 40 and he was ably supported by Richard West, Jackie Rowe, Son of Mustard and Choco Royal. But Bullies should see Choco Royal back this week. They need something from Jackie Rowe. She was a little off me too. She heard I'd been giving it to her in the video. I used to watch every week, Jackie, so it's not a shock.
I did see Jackie out on course on Saturday, and I looked down and on her wrist she had a whole series of messages that she'd written around her glove.
Oh, really?
I said, what are they? What are they doing for you? She goes, I've had them there so long I don't even look at them anymore, so they're not doing me a lot. How about that, man?
Well, I've mentioned you 3 weeks in a row, Jack. You're an all-port player. The Bullies premiership last year was built around your performance, and let's just say it's drowning down the toilet pretty quickly with what you're putting in. Barry Doyle, 23, 27, 23.
The shot that I saw Jackie hit was one of the most purest shots you could imagine. It's there.
Yeah, she's just no good at the moment.
Oh,
She's in a slump.
Wow.
Bit like you earlier in the season. But I don't know. Stewie Anderson, Son of Mustard. They're a bit hit and miss at the moment too. One good round about every 3. So if they can all put it together, you should win. Warriors, we gave you the rev up last week, and it pretty much didn't really help too much. You lost, but you scored okay last week. It was better what you've had. Gilly, Buff, Wardy and Biceps contribute every week, while Shirley, Flanders, Boxhead, and one underperformed warrior is Matthew Davies. Now, Matt, you've represented the club in pennant. This year we've seen 29, 31, 28, 34, 23, 32, 26. Normally the low markers are the more consistent golfers. They're always above 30. They can be relied on, but not you, and it has been noticed by your teammates as well.
Oh.
You are on target for a piss poor team this year.
Oh, is that the first person you've actually physically put out there? Wow.
He has had a sore back, but that can only last for so long.
Oh, the next match is another important one, but you're smoking hot Goblins against the Pirates who need to bounce back.
Yeah, Goblins 3rd, Pirates 5th. Big impact on the ladder with these two teams. The result could actually see them switch places on the ladder if results go the way. But last time they met, Goblins actually won 256 to 253 in a tight contest. The Goblins were led by Belly, McPhee, David Milne, while the Pirates, Kenny Latta, Justin McGrath, and Chris James. Yes, Chris had 33 last time they met.
He's a consistent machine.
Let's start with the Pirates. Extremely disappointing last week. Need improved performance from Scuba Hub. I know, Wendy, it was your best score all year, but it was only 31. Sue Holland, your last 3 scores have been counted. 32, 32, 27. 27, definitely not good enough. Manny Golfus, 25, 19, 22. Well,
Man, you should start earlier in the day, maybe.
Well, yeah, hitting off at 12:48 is probably not helping him too much. Maybe there's not too much thinking about what's going to happen for the day and the pressure's getting to him. While the 2 consistent players who have dropped off last week were Cliff McCorkle and Richie Howes, and also Justin McGrath. It has been alluded that something has been occurring on the side between me and Justin.
Oh.
There's a bit of extracurricular activity, apparently, between the two of us. I wouldn't mind. If I was going to switch, I'd switch for him. But I don't know. Justin, your last 6 rounds are 29, 24, 29, 26, 31. Maybe appearing in the social pages, as we can see here.
Oh.
Going to the footy in corporate boxes, going on golf trips, focus on the Pirates. Maybe I need to get in contact with Miras Heaton to talk to you about the spirit of the Pirates of yesteryear. But then again, you were a Pirate in previous years, so you should know what's required.
Geez, you'd be off you if there was ever a spark.
Well, maybe we just catch up again down the boat ramp on Friday night.
The boat ramp. Oh, my.
But the Goblins, what can we say? Won their last 4, high-scoring team, not a lot of weak areas. Nucleus of the lowest 8 handicappers has been solid. Last 3 weeks with Lathuris, Wiley, Dixon, Peacock, Milne, Prime, Bell mixed in with Steve Smith, Whitson, little cameos from McPhee and Yvette and Bowman. They're combining well. David Milne might be a big loss this week. I think him and Mum have dropped them off at the boat for Tassie last night. They're back in Saturday morning, so whether they play Saturday afternoon's to be seen. But, yes, big game this one.
It is a
Massive.
very big game. And another big game to round out the 10th round of our competition as well, which pits the Tornadoes against the Peakers. Another top 4 matchup, Matty.
Yes, 1st versus 4th. Could this be the biggest whitewash result against a top-of-the-ladder team ever?
Is that what you're calling?
Well, the Tornadoes, they're in a massive slump. Can they climb out? History doesn't look good, though. Last time they met, Peakers smashed them 274 to 240.
Is that right?
Rim, O'Keefe, Flea and Lloyd were the best for the Peakers, while Dunko, Doreen and Johnny Losing were the best for the Tornadoes. Interestingly, though, counted scores for the Tornadoes that week was 25 as a counted score.
Yes.
Peakers are 2-2 for their last 4, while the Tornadoes have lost their last 2 by a combined 55 points.
Oh, that's ugly for the percentage.
Peakers' consistent counting scores have come from JJ. That's Jeanette Johnson, if you didn't know. We're on like initials thing, MH. Nipper, Flea, and Mr. Winchelsea, while the Tornadoes' most recent form has been from Robbie Moorcroft, Bagman leading, and Malsey and Goggin. That's if he turns up. But they've been hit and miss. Hopefully they see Doreen back. Ian Davis has found form during the week but doesn't put it out on Saturdays. As I mentioned you before, Chris Dodds, your last 4 weeks have been 23, 28, 25, 25. Peakers need Alan Kerry. This is the 3rd week in a row, Alan, I've spoken to you. You're not taking notice. You may find yourself highlighted more next week. But your last lot of scores have been 25, 23, 23. Cute as a button. Your form has deteriorated since MH gave you that nickname. 28, 27, 28 is yours. And then Lloyd Shepherd, you were good. You were crap. You just slightly improved on Saturday. Snags has found form. Hopefully you can go 2 weeks in a row. But going to be big game for both.
So there's a lot of potential there, Matty, for people to, I mean, you've mentioned some good scores, but what is the actual eligibility criteria for the Port team and the PPP?
Yeah, so with those, Mark, if you are new to the competition, we do have at our end of season awards night, which is on the 23rd of August. So to be eligible for the All-Port team, which is the best performed players, and the Piss-Poor team, which is the opposite end of the scale, you do need to play a minimum of 7 games for the season. So you've got to play at least half of them to be eligible. Xavier Boland, with your start to the season, I think you've played maybe 5 games now, maybe 6. So you need a couple more to be eligible to get into those teams. But, yep, so that's there just to make sure you play enough games to qualify. And then we present those on the presentation night, Mark.
Presentation night, I'm already nervous about what I might be sitting next to you wearing.
Yes, had a little bit of thought about what we're going to wear that night. But, yeah, so Saturday the 23rd of August is the presentation night. It's after the grand final, so put it in your diary. We'll have some information coming out over the next 2 to 3 weeks about where we sit with that. Obviously, we've got a massive field of players this year. View room only seats a certain number, so when we have information, if you can get in your replies early, if we're going to be attending or if you're going to bring your lovely partner along, there'll be a charge for them, but we'll have all that information coming out in the next few weeks because it's about 8 weeks away.
Yeah, it's not very far away at all now. So a lot of water to flow under the bridge, but it will run around pretty quickly.
Yes. Looking forward to this weekend's games.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to you going down to the bank with the Shawcross fortune.
Yeah.
There's no way there's $40 in there.
I don't know. I'm just hoping there's a lot of goldies underneath because there's plenty of silver there.
All right, Matty, thank you so much. Great research as ever. Great to have some input from overseas as well. We love that.
Yes, he's good to the old rhino.
That's it for the Neville Richards Premier League show. Matty, thank you. We'll do it all again next week.
Thank you, Mark. And what did you say? Summer Magagi or whatever it was?
Salamat Pagi.
Oh, okay. No worries, Mufti. See you guys.